Recently, I've been interested in the fasting mimicking diet, which is based on Valter Longo's book and research done at USC. Prolonged fasting is when you eat nothing at all, but the fasting mimicking diet is when you eat lower amount of calories and still get the benefits of fasting without hunger. If you're wondering if you should try it, come follow me on my journey. Definitely stay until the end because I'll be sharing with you 6 lessons I've learned to help you with trying out the fasting mimicking diet successfully. People are talking about the benefits of longevity, turning on cellular cleanup, which is also known as autophagy. I'm personally interested in fasting from an inflammation, gut health, metabolic reset standpoint. I have struggled with blood sugar dysregulation personally after having gestational diabetes with my 3rd baby, and I'm wondering if fasting can be a way I can get better control of my blood sugars. I haven't been tracking blood sugar recently, so I did put on a glucose monitor in order to see how fasting would affect my blood sugars. So I'm a little nervous. I'm going to be honest. I'm really nervous that I'm going to give up halfway because it's too hard or I get too hungry. I decided to do some body composition testing at a local gym, and from the first initial readings you can see I'm at a pretty normal weight. Body fat is at 22%. Overall pretty hungry, won't lie. Pretty much just ate a packet of peanuts and a Kind bar. The problem with this fasting mimicking diet is like really limited proteins, which I'm finding obviously you have to be really strategic not to get a blood sugar spike if you're someone like me. Lunch was 5 olives and a few sticks of jicama, a few bites of roasted cauliflower, and 1/4 cup pumpkin seeds. Counting these out reminds me slightly of my disordered eating days. So if there's anyone out there trying to do the fasting mimicking diet who has a history of eating disorders, just be mindful. It needs to be way in your past that you're not gonna reintroduce any bad habits of being super controlling about your food. Every time I feel hungry, I'm like, there's plenty of food around. I have plenty of options today. I don't have to freak out. And that's been really comforting. Today I actually woke up with really normal fasting glucose and I'm not hungry, which is really interesting. So I'm curious what my ketones are. All my time and energy seems to be freed up to do other things. It's a nice change and I don't feel so dependent on food. 10:15 and Thursday, and I did pretty good all day, but I am like pretty hungry tonight. So teeth, I was in bed and I'm like, you know what, I still have some calories left to spend today. I'm gonna eat something. This is so satisfying. It's just crunchy and sweet. Oh, I'm trying to burn off some glucose right now because I kind of had a little bit of my kids' breakfast. I couldn't help it. It was some leftover pineapple, a few squares of keto cereal, and my blood sugar's at 122. I need to dial it in and really just finish strong. The biggest thing I learned today, Kind bar thins do not work for my blood sugar. I had a whole bar and some jicama, and I had a massive spike. Meal prepping, going out and having potlucks, feeding my family, all of that was actually not that disruptive to the fast. It's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a great day. To eat whatever I want in this fridge. This normal size portion in a normal size bowl feels like a ginormous amount of food. Back at the gym. Hey, Evan. Okay. Let's see what's happening here.
Okay, in terms of raw weight, and this is pretty cool. This is where you were on day 1.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where you were afterwards. So that's
Right.
almost a 1.5 pound shift of weight in just body fat. So maybe, I don't know if you live in ketosis. I don't know if this put you there or,
yeah,
you know.
it did.
Okay, so maybe that could be part of it. So your body actually started using fat stores for what they're for.
It's been 4 days now since I've finished the fasting mimicking diet. Overall, I had a great experience. To answer some of the questions I had, number one, blood sugar. My blood sugar definitely improved on day 3, 4, and 5 of the fast because I do believe I was truly in ketosis by then. During the time I was in ketosis though, I was still spiking if I ate the wrong combination of foods. So lesson number one is if you're gonna do the fasting mimicking diet, you wanna still make sure that you're eating carbs paired with fat or protein, and you're not taking in a ton of carbs all at once, because you can have a blood sugar spike, especially if you're like me and you already have blood sugar issues. Unfortunately, now that I'm not fasting anymore, I still am having blood sugar spikes. So I had a grapefruit yesterday that spiked me. I had a little bread with some peanut butter. I still spiked with that. So it's not entirely gone. I might need a few more rounds. I'll keep you updated as I do this again. Brain function was still really good all throughout the 5 days. I actually had a hard time falling asleep at my normal bedtime hour because my brain was still firing. That might be ketosis, that might be adrenaline. Don't really know if it was a combination of both. I have had some improvements in my gut health during the fast. I feel like I have less bloating, less gas, and I did not get constipated the way I thought, although I was taking magnesium water. A big reason why people fast is weight loss. That wasn't my goal. Historically, I've always been relatively the same weight. It always takes me a whole year to lose all the pregnancy weight that I put on. Losing 3 pounds in a week is significant for me. I've never been under 100 pounds in my adult life. I don't think I'm malnourished because I did that for a week. Would I continue fasting like this all the time? Probably not a good idea. I do believe it is possible to harm the body if you were to continue this long term. So what I like about the fasting mimicking diet is that there still is food available. It's important to calm the body down, make sure you reassure yourself you are not in a food scarcity situation or in danger of starving. A big takeaway for me has been hydration, hydration, hydration. Even going into the fast, I was dehydrated according to my in-body scan. Coming out of the fast, I was even more dehydrated, which could have contributed to my readings, muscle mass going down a pound. If this is super interesting to you, I am doing 2 more rounds of fasting throughout the summer. If you'd like to join me, DM me on Instagram. Is I do believe it's important to pace yourself so that your food intake is spread throughout the day. That way you don't freak out when you've eaten all your calories by noon. And it's also helpful to eat those calories at mealtime so you can enjoy food when other people are eating. Another lesson learned is to use hunger as a way to reconnect with your roots and with your spirituality. I was so much more appreciative of the sacrifice my grandparents made. My grandmother even delivered a baby in an abandoned schoolhouse in the middle of fleeing from the Japanese. So I'm sure food scarcity was a real thing, and we don't even know what that feels like. So to have a little taste of it makes you so appreciative of the price people paid for you to have the safety and security that you have today. Very last lesson learned that I do want to share is make sure if you do the fasting mimicking diet that you are checking your blood sugars and ideally your ketones as well, because depending on how you pair your food and the timing of your food, you may be getting blood sugar spikes and not know that you're not getting the benefits of being in ketosis. Tell me how this has been helpful and enlightening to you, and if you've tried the fasting mimicking diet, I want to hear about your experience. Until next time, check out my other videos and subscribe. We'll see you soon.